Hello everyone, and welcome to a video where I play Duet Night Abyss and enjoy my life, right? And another guy, right, is a lolcow and an unhinged retard, right? So let's look at the let's just get that. Turn that down about, I'd say, like right there, half. Okay. So let's watch this video. Keep in mind, right, I have this up for a reason. This, for those who don't know, is just a small list of the reasons to hate the petty individual that this retard is simping for. There are a lot that not even Kiwi Farms has recorded yet. That should tell you that you know, the man, people don't like him, and for very valid reasons. You don't get a lolcow thread dedicated to hating your existence, by the way, by being a good person. Just so you know, okay? The dude's a massive piece of shit, and well known and documented to be one. So let's do that. Well, I'll give him a couple adult ones, just for right now. That's all you'll get. Yeah, he's got this incredibly cringe simping for Alex Jones as well. I mean, at least Alex Jones has decent content. I mean, his content is more memeable and stuff, but hey, at least I will give him the benefit of the doubt that Alex Jones can be funny. You know, like what you agree with him or not, he has some good things about him, and one of those is that he can be funny. Now, his constant simping for medical scams is probably the most unhinged thing about him ever. I mean, the dude had, I mean, how much of that dude's life and career been simping for fucking water that makes you like lose weight or some shit. Now, like, when I talk about drinking water helping you lose weight, I of course just say just drink any water. I don't say pay $1,000 for the specific water that will make you lose weight, because I'm not an unhinged retard trying to make money off of 90-year-old people like Alex Jones is, right? I'm not a scam artist, I'm not a charlatan, and I'm certainly not a fucking piece of shit. But at least Alex Jones is humorous, right? He's a bottom-feeding retard, but he is a humorous, a funny bottom-feeding retard. Which is something I can't exactly say much for Musk, but let's go.
On their asses. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful and we're beautiful and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, you must become the victor. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth.
All right, let's see.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk about something that doesn't really get a lot of press or attention, and that is that one of the biggest streamers and content creators on Twitch, or really on YouTube for that matter, Moist Critical, has an irrational and embarrassing hatred of Elon Musk.
Let's see
What's irrational about it, buddy?
Criticizing Elon Musk. I criticized Elon Musk during his
Let's have a look
tirade
around and
about the
uncover the
H-1B
secrets here.
visas. I thought he was absolutely wrong. But at the same
Okay, yeah, the guy, okay. So you admit that the guy has a bit of a problem with, you know, with being seen as a guy who you don't need. If you say you don't need Elon Musk's help, if you say you don't need to rely on him, if you say you can be an individual who doesn't rely on his help to continue existing, he doesn't like you. right? Because his entire thing isn't like he has a what's known as a main character syndrome. Now, unlike most people, he has enough money to kind of facilitate that as well. I mean, let's face it, your entire existence relies on him in any way. You like I can clearly tell from your audience as well as your opinions that you rely on that blue checkmark money to survive. It's not really your YouTube channel. That's not really looking like it's generating much now, is it, right? So clearly this guy needs some extra money. So what he's doing is he's doing the Simp for Elon grift, which is very well known to be an effective measure of gaining income. I mean, why do you think Rums is, not in prison yet, Well, he needs someone to pay for his legal bills, right? Well, who do you think it is? Yeah, it's it's Elon. It's pretty openly Elon. But yeah, while you continue simping for a lolcow and pretend we don't understand what it is, us normal thinking people, right? I'm just putting it out there. We all know what it is why you're simping. So continue, because I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like anyone whose opinion is clearly generated by like an AI robot of someone is not someone to listen to. Take of that as you will, but I feel like that's just a normal thing to think, to be honest. I just feel like it's just what average people would have as their opinion. And how do I know this? Well, apparently Professor Normie himself, Critical, has this opinion. The guy who doesn't disagree with the masses, who always has the same opinion as the vast majority of people, who like your criticism of him is always that he's normal and very agreeable with the general public. That should kind of put like some red flags on anyone's hatred of the man on the are they normal sphere, right? If your hatred of someone is that they're too much of a normie, you can't do the whole anti-woke normal men shtick, right? Because that's the thing. Ultimately, that's what the anti-woke grift ends up being. But you have to be abnormal to disagree with the normies, right? The normies are the normal people. That's what normal is defined as. He's like, this guy tries to deny it, saying, oh, low IQ. So you're above low IQ, but you're not high IQ. So that makes you mid IQ. That makes you a midwit, which means you're wrong. Because the low IQs and the high IQs are the ones who are right. And the mid IQs, right, the midwits, are the ones who are wrong, right? But then you try to say he's a normie. And here's like the little kicker. Either they're low IQ and they're right about everything with the high IQs, or they're mid IQ, like the average Joe, and that's why they're so normie, right? Because they've got the midwit always wrong mindset, right? But the thing is, the midwits are going to be the vast majority of people. That's the entire point of midwittery, right? So either you have to call yourself a midwit, right? Like this is like the trap a lot of people who get who put themselves in when they criticize someone like Critical, because they have to admit that the average person will agree with Moist Critical, right? The average person likes Moist Critical. That's why he's so massive. That's why he's so popular. Yeah, believe it or not, when you have mass appeal, you tend to not get very political in a way that people would disagree with in general. So now you've got a little bit of a problem there too, right? The vast majority of people hate Elon Musk. Now, obviously, it's a very normal opinion to hate Elon Musk, considering he has a lolcow thread, right? That means he's an unhinged clown of an individual. People hate Critical, right? Because because they find his content weird or whatever, right? And this guy goes into that. He talks about how, the Moby Huge shit, right? Later in the video, right? Yeah, I watched the video, because I pre-watch things before I review their talking points. But yeah, I'm very open about that. I don't just live react to things because I'm not an unhinged lunatic. I don't see the point. Also, yeah, the game in the background is Duet Night Abyss, by the way. It's basically Warframe, but not. So yeah.
What a bountiful haul today.
There are a lot of things that Elon Musk is doing that I think in the end is going to make the lives of people a lot better. And the fact is that people forget about little things that he did, like when there were some people that were trapped in a cave, and Elon Musk basically dropped everything to come and try
Nothing's more important than having a good meal. Let me see if you've had
there's
your
just a
fill.
lot this guy has done that even if you're critical, you should at least be grateful.
I have a really important...
Oh yeah, I'm critical of Elon Musk, but a normal thing.
You've had your fill.
And don't think I'm just using
Right,
that as
but
a-
I thought hating Elon Musk was an unhinged thing. But now it's normie thing, right?
got popular for, the type of
What it really comes down to is everyone hates Elon Musk.
really gonna help
The H-1Bs were just so far not even the simps could agree, right? Like, basically, when it came down to it, the only people who agreed with the H-1Bs were bots, right? Like, I mean, maybe there were some, like, Indians who just really enjoyed that. I mean, that's also a possibility, right? That is, to be fair, a thing that is not out of the question entirely, right? Like those aren't completely out. Get the fuck off the chair. Anyway, but yeah. All right, so let's see. So I'm gonna get, I need 20 of these. So unless I get, let's see, purple. Okay, I'm not getting it. Like if it's not gold, I'm not getting the thing I'm going for because I'm going for just the gold. Oh, Yellen Oliver though. I got another one to him. So. Alright, and we'll do it again. Alright.
I'm so incredulous.
Oh, I got it. Sweet.
How arrogant these content creators
Fuck
really are.
yeah.
So first of all, you've heard my take on it. What does Moist Critical think about Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is a worm I like to shoot spitballs and throw tomatoes at from time to time because he is a jaw-droppingly embarrassing specimen of pure cringe that it is impossible to fight the urge to clown on him.
Where are we heading for today's haul?
That's a
Oliver
statement.
would be
That's
much
a
better at
pretty
fighting than
definitive
me.
declarative statement. Let's take a look at some of the past works of Moist Critical for a second. This is a video titled "The Next Generation Tesla."
Now, so like this is the funny bit. Oh, this guy is. This guy prefers being funny over being an Elon simp. Oh, he has a sense of humor that I disagree with, right? I hate this man because he has intelligence and a sense of humor. He's a content creator while I'm a leech. I'm like who needs to make other people videos off other people's content in order to be popular because I can't form an original thought that's entertaining on my own. I get you, buddy. I understand. But that's why, unlike you, the only difference between you and me is I'm honest about just being a parasite to other YouTubers, right? I'm honest about that, which is why I don't get too many views, because, you know, honesty in this market doesn't actually pay. But like I said, I just make content for fun. Also, yeah, he enjoys his father, right? I have a question. Have you enjoyed your father lately, Templar? What does your father think of you? Something tells me you could never film your father and you in the same video, and he would have a favorable thing to say about you. In fact, more than likely, if he even is still alive, he despises you, right? Now, Critical loves his dad. Now, that's a little weird, isn't it, right? Like, Critical and his father have a loving familial relationship. They're also in Florida and enjoying like enjoying the suburban Floridan life, right? You know, they've got opinions on certain politicians that they like and certain ones they dislike. They disagree with some of their politicians here and there, but ultimately they like the fact that they can own they can own a gun and dunk on pedophiles for it, right? Funny enough, this guy has a guy who just hates that Critical is pro-trans so much. He supports a pedophile to do it. Yeah, like Sneeko is openly a pedophile, right? Like the debate between Critical was, is molesting kids better, right? Like this was the debate. Is the literal molestation of children better than not doing that? I don't know about you, but I find that like if that's someone's opinion, that they are dying on the hill of why don't you support child molestation then, man? I don't know, like I feel like that is an unhinged lunatic take. I don't know about you. I just feel like that's just how I would perceive that kind of take. But let's continue. Let's see, is there anything I can do here? Not yet. Not really.
Intimidating.
Let's see what Dad cooked up in
I can make some more of those, but like at this point, what's the point? I've already got everything I need for those.
Nice. Let's listen to it. Oh yeah, let's see what she has to say.
Go between
Oh,
your butt
I got
cheeks
another
down
10.
between
Okay,
your
sweet.
schnitzel set.
Okay.
And just
So,
sniff the sides.
let's go
and
for Psyche, I
okay,
guess.
that's what she's talking about. What happens is the pH
I'm gonna
is so
always
high,
get
it
purple
actually
because
accelerates the odor reaction. When you
you're
raise the
guaranteed
pH,
one every
you
10.
accelerate the
for
metabolic
purple.
rate of those bacteria. You rinse off the soap, but the pH is still
Okay.
very high. And it takes about 6 hours for your skin to recover to get down to the healthy acid mantle pH. It's causing body odor to accelerate on your skin in a way that if we weren't using soap and we were acidifying the routine, we would smell even better. Right out of the shower, we would smell better longer throughout the day. We would definitely smell better naked everywhere. Because this is acidified, it's...
I don't know. You know what would be funny if I get a fucking Gooner ad like Hero Wars or something on this guy who's mad that Critical is openly a Gooner. Now, I'm a Gooner too. Look at the game I'm playing. I'm playing the anime waifu Warframe with lollies everywhere. Yeah.
In fact, the video continues where they ride around and they do an obstacle course on this thing. Now, I don't really have any words to describe how genuinely pathetic. Like,
Let's see what we can find this time.
To use something to describe it, it would be something like this.
Elon Musk is a worm I like to shoot spitballs and throw tomatoes at from time to time because he is a jaw-dropping...
Now, you know what's funny is that this guy is mad at Critical's opinion and sense of humor, but it's not because of the reasons most people would be, right?
The type of low IQ.
The type of low IQ. Dude, he is definitely not low IQ, and you can tell by the fact that he can make poop jokes that you've never heard of. Like that's the ultimate like litmus test here. He can make jokes you've never heard before. You like it or not, he is smarter than you. Maybe you should take the you're a low IQ route, right? Because he's clearly smarter than you, and low IQ usually trumps high IQ. I mean, not high IQ. It usually trumps mid IQ when it comes to being right? But you want, however, him to be low IQ, which makes him always right. He's objectively not, but you want him to be, right? And this is like the litmus test of people who understand what midwit means. Midwit, of course, refers to the idea that the average person is always wrong on everything, but because they overthink fairly simple things. And then you have the high wits and low wits, right? Who all agree with each other for different reasons. The low wits, because you're like, oh, well, the high wits are, the smart people say this, so it must be true. And then the high wits who study the things and come up to the conclusion, yeah, no, it's pretty simple, and the simple solution is the correct one.
And by the way, most of the detractors of Elon Musk, most of the haters of Elon Musk, which I think comprise of a lot of leptoid, brain dead, politically inept and retarded individuals.
Yeah, okay, leptoid, politically inept, brain dead. Okay, have you had your GPT ramen today, my guy? Why don't you AI generate a personality? Wait, that's illegal, isn't it? Yeah, you can't do that yet. Sorry, AI is not strong enough to do that. It's strong enough to give false hope, though, which I do love. I love giving people like this false hope, because they'll simp for the closest thing that they think. They'll simp for whatever the closest thing to having like any semblance of humanity in them, right? Now, this is the funny thing. I am hated by the left for going after these people in the unhinged ways I can, because I am the guy who does not censor my opinions of someone, right? I don't, like, if I hate you, I don't just say I hate you. I give you the full rundown. I give you the slur throwdown, you know? I am not a guy who just whittles down and takes abuse from these retards. And people don't like that. You know, there are people on the left who do not like that I can just dish it out. Like, see that shovel kick? I do that to them, right? I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna verbally punch these guys in the face with my lips, right? I don't need my fist to do battle with these morons. I just speak and it happens. Right? Alright, also, okay. Just looking at my little mods here. I got a lot of these, actually, fun enough. Ooh. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
For this interview, I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. I think people will think about Tesla. Democrats are demonizing you and trying to make the country hate you. I just want people to understand you a little bit better, and the person that you've gotten to know and have now put a lot of trust in.
Where are we heading for today's haul?
You know, just let's go over a little bit of your bio, starting with PayPal and how you became involved in Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and all these.
Well, I mean, you know, I think the way to think of me is like I'm a technologist, and I try to make technologies that improve the world and make life better.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's why I like my t-shirt says tech support, because I'm here.
Where are we heading for today's haul?
Technology support. And now that may seem like well, is that a silly thing? But actually, it's a very important thing because the president will.
I do
make
like
these
that.
executive
Okay.
orders, which are very sensible and good for the country.
I don't like that I have to get it 5 times, but I do like that.
So,
Actually, is it 5 times?
Where are we heading for today's haul?
Actually, see.
The president issued an executive order. Hey, we need to stop.
Yeah, how many times do I have to smelt these
and pay
together?
luxury hotels for illegal.
I don't actually
Which
know.
makes no sense. Like, so obviously, people do not want.
It just says level and 0. Is it 5 or is it 7 like the other?
And yet they were still
I gotta figure that out.
even as late as last week. And so, you know,
It might be unlimited.
Where are we heading for today's haul?
Executive order, it needs to stop. So
Alright.
what we're doing here is one of the biggest functions of the Doge team is just making
Where are we
sure
heading
that
for today?
presidential executive orders
We're
are
going
actually
on an
carried out.
adventure today.
And this is, I just want to point out, this is a very important thing because the president is the elected representative
Who's the target
of the people.
today?
So he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
Why millennials never seem to age.
Right.
Do you
Okay.
think Botox are doing for your med spa? No, I actually don't. So what's your secret? So this is gonna sound completely crazy, but actually it was my mom. Her skin started looking so amazing, and I had to know what she was doing. She looks 10 years younger.
Okay,
Where
let's
did she
see
learn?
here.
From this actress. She's 45 and she's never gotten any work done. Here, let me show you this picture.
That's incredible. What does she do?
It's the simplest thing in the world. I started doing it and now I can't stop.
I gotta know what this is.
She made a video about it actually. Here.
There is such a thing as filler fatigue. Have you heard of this? Just an overfilled face apparently can stretch your skin out.
When it wears off, the sagging is more intense, and so you're going to keep upping the end.
Let's see here.
Twice as much, and then 3 times as much, and then
Let's see
it'll
what do I
starts
have
to
here.
go
Guard
downhill.
Eternity.
If you stop doing it, you are going to
Okay. Griffin's Guard
So you're
Eternity.
basically stuck on that train
Typhon's
for life.
Thunder.
It's a business, but I've never
Okay, let's see.
What I'm actually doing is a lot simpler than that. It's a lot cheaper.
Squall.
I spent years collaborating and researching with my friend Dr. Lippman. We did a deep dive into
I'm just looking at my little bits of mods
we
here.
got to the root of the problem. It's because they're lacking X, Y, and Z nutrients.
Yes.
Okay, I'm 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus. What nutrients am I now lacking?
So this one's
that I
gonna
can
be
fill in that will allow
pretty good
me
right here.
to produce collagen in my body.
When I get
not
that.
absorb it, not try to absorb it, but to give my body the goods to
Right,
do the work
Typhon's.
itself.
So
And
we
what
have
I
Squall.
discovered really
I mean,
changed
it's
the game for
Squall
all of us.
Berserker.
Marionette lines, crow's
Right.
sagging skin, nasolabial folds, lip wrinkles, forehead creases.
Defense
We
guard.
typically associate these things with getting older. But did you know there's
Jeopardy.
also a way to help manipulate their
All right.
appearance so they actually
Let's do this
become
again.
less noticeable with age instead? Hi, I'm Maggie.
oh.
You may know me from my on-screen roles in Nikita and Designated Survivor.
Fuck did I
or
get
from my
there?
new film,
Oh,
The
oh,
Protégé with
yeah,
Zach.
that.
But what I'm about to show you is
Okay.
magic.
Probably
It's a
took that
remarkably
long to realize that was
simple
there. Okay,
technique used to help tighten the look
do
of
this again.
wrinkles,
Just
pull up the appearance of jowls and loose skin, fill out the look of droopy cheek.
No.
okay.
Seems pretty
I'm gonna
sensible.
use one of these.
Seems pretty reasonable.
Let's see what we can find this
Yeah, I
time.
agree with him completely on that.
You're both aware, you have to be keenly aware. You know, the New York Times, Washington Post,
Other than the stuff that was in for the attending a Catholic meeting this afternoon.
yes. And that,
He did, you know, I wait a long time to get it, but he,
I'm trying to find
he gets it done.
Time to incinerate some flesh.
You got a lot of tech people in there. He said, he said, they'll be,
I'm trying to find
to do before the
go back not to orbit. Yeah. The private company and then the chief engineer. Let me go back a little bit to your background. It's beyond impressive. You were the chief engineer for
Where
example.
you belong.
You were an early believer in Tesla. You became the CEO. And then the chief engineer, which was phenomenal. SpaceX, same thing, which is unbelievable. I mean, you were the first
And yeah,
private company to send astronauts successfully into space.
like I like my thing. Like a good way to say it, right? My hatred of people like this clown is that they just don't have what it takes. Like another thing, right? This guy's supposed to be like a, I guess a Warhammer guy, right? A tabletop guy. Has anyone seen him play any tabletops lately? Like at least Arch, I think he went from Warhammer to gaming, right? Like at least he plays his little My Little Pony shit, which I think is kind of funny. Like the Warhammer versus furry guys, all ended up being furries. Like, I thought that was very funny. Like, yeah, this is so totally a thing. And then they just ended up proving it takes a furry to hate a furry fucking meme true. I wonder if those guys being were known as furries for a while, and that was like actually why that meme existed in the first place. I actually gotta think that might actually be why. But yeah, the anti-furry videos that you might know from like Flash Gits and shit. Well, I mean, it's not even a secret. They're furries. Flash Gits are furries. Yeah. Yeah. And this is the thing, right? I'm not hating this guy because he's a bad person. I'm hating him because it's funny to me. And that's all I really care about. Am I entertained or not by someone's content? Alright, let's see here. Ooh, I got a lot of mods here.
And we learned a lot with the Twitter files. And that just then raises a question. You're the richest man in the world. You may not like that part. You're pretty competitive.
Neither here nor there.
I've known you a long time. But
that's why.
But he's on your team. Well, that's true. He can't top that.
He's good. You know,
I gotta check out all these. All right, that sounds.
I just couldn't do it.
About as right as it's gonna get. So let's do this
I
again.
couldn't find anyone smarter. Right?
Let's see what we can find this time.
For the country.
But this is the thing.
We settled on this.
Well, thanks for having me.
So, I understand that this is the interesting thing. This is where we are as a society. And I need to do this too, but I'm going to do it anyway. You're doing all of these things. You're throwing, nobody goes to play the country, correct?
Well, actually, some people are federal employees.
Some are, okay. Yeah. They're helping.
But I think it's fair to say that the software engineers at Doge could be earning millions of dollars a year instead of earning a small fraction of that as federal employees.
Okay, so you're committed to helping the blind see, people with spinal cord injuries recover.
Yeah.
You're committed to getting to Mars. You're committed to rescue. You're going to help rescue.
Yeah, like what does this have to do with anything for humanity? Though this is the funny thing. He's committed to getting to Mars. He's got that Neuralink shit. He's gonna make me less retarded, guys. I swear. Like, my guy, that is called what's known in Cyberpunk as the villain, right? Like, if you've ever watched any Cyberpunk dystopia, the guy who is like, I'm a super rich corpo guy, and I promise you, if you rely on me, you will live, right? Has it ever been good in any story ever at all, right? Has that guy ever been not the ultimate villain, right? And it's like sometimes people, like certain particular people, just end up being despised in fiction for a reason, right? And the guys like that tend to be one of the most easy to despise groups of people, right? Like even the dictator, right? Even a dictator, a literal genocidal dictator, is more likable in fiction than someone like Elon Musk, right? Now, why is that? Well, it turns out, as much as genocidal dictators suck, you know, as much as they suck, a genocidal dictator at least has one thing going for them, right? And then that's pretty much just that,
People look at my hands and say, oh my gosh, look at your hands. I have more sunspots than you. What are your sticks?
like what that is pretty much that they do stuff, right? That like, and you don't have to rely on them after they do, it continuously, right? The problem with Elon Musk is you can pretty much just be like, well, what if I don't want it anymore, right? What if I don't want this thing that I pay to keep me alive anymore? Well, you just die, right? So now here's the thing. What if you stop being able to afford the thing that you need to keep yourself productive and alive? Oh, right, yeah, like these are fairly obvious, blatant criticisms of someone. And you would think that someone who's critical of him on H1Bs would kind of get that, right? Because that's kind of this, all the criticisms this guy has of Critical's like dislike of Elon Musk, all the criticisms he has of Elon Musk are the same as Critical, right? When you think about it and break it down, the H1B, the problem with H1Bs is the exact same problem with every other thing that Elon Musk does. As a person, Elon Musk is awful, right? So you got to think, what is the point of that, right? This is an awful person who engages in very much authoritarian rhetoric, right? All the time.
One of the main reasons why I absolutely despise content creators like Charlie and Ludwig and all these other people.
So you despise content creators like Ludwig and Critical. Why? Because they're better than you? Like that's what it really comes down to. When someone hates them, I find jealousy. It's like if someone hates Critical Drinker, right? Like you can disagree with Critical Drinker all the time, obviously, but if you hate him, right, it tends to be like a like you're a low IQ barometer finding out thing, right? Hey, did you know that if you just despise Critical Drinker and just that's your entire opinion of him, you're usually not a good person. It's a good measurement, right?
Which is what Moist Critical is. I mean, he's sort of pushed away from that, but the fact of the matter is, that is on his channel. That's what he's known for. You know, it's a degenerate, disgusting, sort of low IQ way to get views.
What, being entertaining is a low IQ way to get views? Just say you're boring already, and you hate that, and you hate fun. Like,
at least have enough self-awareness to realize
that he's not the one lacking self-awareness here.
Like, you can
clearly he's not the one.
That's fine. But if you're gonna sit there and bill yourself as some sort of,
let's see what we can find this time.
When you call Elon Musk a worm, and I can't resist throwing spitballs at him. My reaction to that is, first of all, who the fuck are you? You're a loser. You're a nobody. You're a
He's a nobody, okay? This is the funny thing. What it really comes down to this guy is just NPC bombing Critical by calling him slurs that he doesn't even know what they mean. Like like there is a person who those words you use would describe here in this conversation. Now one of them is me. There's two people though, but the other person is not Critical. There's two people in this conversation. There's me, you, and Critical. Right? Now I am openly I am a retard. That's who I am, right? I don't pretend to be smart because I don't want to be those kinds of people. Right? I don't pretend to be an intelligent person. If I get a job outside of furry porn, you know what it'll be? A greeter at Walmart. I understand my position in the world. I do. right? This guy doesn't. He thinks. Oh wait, no. That's. Sorry. Like bad terminology. Like I didn't want to offend you by assuming that you were able-minded, right? And that's the thing. This guy's not able-minded. I shouldn't be treating him in the ableist way that I did, right? I shouldn't be acting like his mind works. That's like the little thing here, right? And notice that like he's got like 50 fucking ads. Like it's only been 20 minutes. I've done like how many fucking ads? Like this dude is what's known that's known in YouTube as a snake. At that point, like my guy, like just say that you want to rob me at gunpoint already. Like, just fucking, like, fuck off with that shit. There were literally, like, fucking 10 sets of ads in this 20-minute video so far. And there's going to be a couple more, right? There's going to be one right before, and then one after the video ends. Like this guy's saying, I'm not a grifter, guys. I just got 50 fucking ads in my videos.
Was taking the position against the age of consent. Now, how is it possible that somebody loses their faith with Sneeko when he...
Well, he didn't lose. That's the thing. He didn't lose because it's not possible.
Even more of a retard than he is. You see, people thought that Moist Critical was intelligent. They thought he was like this.
Okay, no one disrespects him for that. The only people who have lost respect are the lolcows, who everyone pretty much makes fun of constantly anyway. Like there are people on Kiwi Farms who are lolcows, and people who take this position on that particular video tend to be one-to-one with the lolcows on Kiwi Farms. It's very weird, isn't it? Right? Like how that works, right? Like that's the thing. Like half the people on Kiwi Farms are lolcows themselves. They're just too small to be considered cowworthy. That's another thing. In order to be a lolcow, you also have to be popular to shit on. But you wouldn't be popular to shit on if you were just like, you know, if you're just like an average dipshit like this guy. That's the thing, right? In order to be a lolcow, you also have to have some form of notoriety, because otherwise, what's the point? Like, where's the fun in that? You know?
Because he got all that pushback, he didn't even have the testicular fortitude to stand behind what he said, because it was so irredeemable, so evil, so absolutely malicious. There is no...
Can this guy generate his own opinion once?
Even if
I haven't seen it yet.
Debate, or I'm not prepared for a debate, where I would ever accidentally walk into a conversation and just admit to something that profoundly evil and retarded.
What's bad about it? Like, can you explain? I don't think he can. I don't think this creature has the ability.
Min-max or optimize.
Like, it seems like his intelligence is sub-Haitian. That's my new word for retard, by the way, because like there was that whole spiel by people where like the average Haitian is retarded. They said sub 60 IQ, which is funny because you can clearly see they're about 80 IQ on average. You know, like dumb but not retarded. And yeah, that's the barometer. Like sub 65 is the definition of a retard. Well, actually, it's sub 70, right? And they were saying about 50% of the Haitian population was sub 70 IQ, which is obviously wrong. Like, they're not smart, but there's a difference between dumbasses and retards, and the difference is one doesn't create a functional society, the other doesn't even get that far, right? Like a good way to say it, right? Greeters at Walmart can't sustain themselves at all, right? The people who get those kinds of jobs, for like their disabilities, aren't going to be able to survive on their own. You know, that's kind of a bad thought, because that's where I am in my life. Now, granted, I somehow survive on my own despite that, because I basically, what I say is I forced myself to mask as an intelligent person so long, some of it kind of rubbed off on me, right? And which is true, that's factually accurate, but that's not a thing that should happen, right? A person like me should not be in the position I'm in, where I have to, yeah. Okay, so Inferno Berserker. Ooh. I just did the thing. So, like, now I've got all these. Devouring Wildfire. Oof. Okay. Spring Zephyr. So, I'm getting a bunch of the. Where's my demon wedges? Like, though, like, where's the average one? Okay, so the weapons still need a bunch, but looks like all my character ones are. I can't make fold up. Oh no, that's not a weapon. This I can't make Sphinx's intrepidity. Why is it that one? Okay, well. Alright, let's continue, my guy.
Correct position. He thought that transing a 9-year-old was the morally superior, morally correct position, and the internet taught him, no.
No, he thought that a 9-year-old consenting to become trans was more morally appropriate than molesting a child. That is what he said. You can argue that it was the dumbest position to take, which it was. But here's the funny thing. He's right. It still is better than whatever Sneeko was on, because Sneeko wants to molest kids. So you have Sneeko, who wants to molest children, and you have Critical, who says kids who make medical decisions for themselves is superior than molesting children. Right? Now, obviously, I have disagreements with that as well, as he said. But notice how my disagreements, I can go with what was actually said, and that what that gives me, right? What that gives me is an ability that you don't have, right? Which is that I can criticize him and push the conversation forward, because I won't lie about what he said, in order to score internet brownie points with an audience of fucking retards who molest children. Like, Sneeko's audience is either 13-year-old kids, or child molesters. That's his audience, right? That's him, right? Is a edgy child molester who, like, pretends to be this quirky guy in order to molest children, okay? Like, this is who you're fanboying over, okay? You're simping over Elon Musk and Sneeko. Okay, like, Elon Musk is the petty individual who calls people pedophiles because they don't need them, right? Like, I can bring that clip up. If you want, like, a real reason to hate Elon Musk, this is like my first experience with him. Elon Musk, where is it? Thai cave, right? So yeah, like this is so for those who are wondering, a Taiwanese diver saved a bunch of little kids who were trapped in a cave, because instead of relying on Elon Musk to build whatever bullshit he was trying to do, he was like, wait, I could just save them now. Why don't I just do that? And so he did. And Elon Musk called him a pedophile for it. Because he's a petty fucking invertebrate, right? He has no spine to speak of, right? So he called him a pedophile for that. So let's just give the concession here. You're calling Critical a pedophile because you disagree with his opinion on something in a debate where it wasn't even necessarily his opinion, but rather which was superior, actual child molestation or anything that wasn't child molestation, right? That was Critical's position, right? That child molestation is the worst crime there is, to the point where even that insane thing is better than child molestation. Sneeko's point of contention was, nuh-uh, I would rather molest kids. I'm happy, and they seem to like it, right? That was his position, right? So we've got a literal, unrepentant, open child molester versus a guy who said, okay, kids should be able to make decisions on their own. I don't care. This debate is stupid anyway. I win by default because that's how dumb the position is, right? And notice every single person who says Sneeko won is a grifter who needs them Elon bucks as well, right? These are the same guys. By the way, massive lolcow threads on basically everyone that was big, right? So a good way to say it, right? Who was big that shit on him for that debate? Well, we've got Quartering. We've got Razor Fist did a little snark, right? Also, yeah, Razor Fist, a literal pedophile. That's another thing. You got Quartering, who is a pedophile adjacent, and you've got you, who thinks that actual pedophilia is not as bad as children making decisions of their own, right?
That's an evil, indefensible position, but it just goes to show you.
No, it doesn't go to show me. It goes to show me that you're low intelligent. Your low intelligence forces you to misrepresent people's views in order to score a victory, because if you were actually honest about what they said, you wouldn't be able to do it. Which is true, right? Like, this is absolutely true of you. Everyone can see that. Your own audience does too. Just because they seem to be simping on you doesn't mean they actually like you. It's a little benefactor, right? Look at these comments. So, something about it's a Gundam. Which, okay. Yeah, notice how Gundam had to tone down and everyone hates him now, right? Elon Musk likes humanity. Okay. Who brought up Bill Gates? Okay. Like, he's one of the most depressed people on the internet. Lol. Oh, man, these guys are coping hard. And notice every single comment here agrees with him. That's a bad sign, right? That uses a very much a good sign. Like here we've got one person who has brain cells, right? Like, yeah, the U.S. is not just any democracy. It's a republic. It's a constitutional republic. Yes, like this guy is correct. That's what that is a form of democracy. Now, like, there are no facets of democracy within our republic. Yeah, no. That many republics don't have elections. Some monarchies have democratic election. What? You can't be a monarch, but then you wouldn't be a monarchy, right? This is the funny thing. What you've proven here is that not all republics are described correctly. and not all monarchies are described correctly. A monarchy is ultimately this, and a republic is ultimately this, right? This is the funny thing. Like, people look at Great Britain and say, well, they're a monarchy, ain't they, bruv? And they don't really question that definition because they aren't a monarchy and haven't been in hundreds of years, right? Like, they still vote for parliament, and then parliament votes for the prime minister, right? Which is what happens in the U.S. ultimately. Your state can overturn the people in the state's votes in the Electoral College. It's like a good way to say it, right? A lot of people don't know this, but this is a thing at the Electoral College. So let's say you are Mississippi, right? So Mississippi Electoral College, right? All right, so let's just keep this simple, right? Fucking Google. Oh, Bing. Okay. So they have, to fucking do all this clicking now. I used to be able to just be like, search. Okay, they got 6. Okay, so they got 6 votes. There's 6 voters in Mississippi, right? And those are elected by the voters, right? So you vote who the electorate is, right? And the electorate votes for who the president is. Now, that's how it works, right? You do have the ability to vote for your electorate. However, you do not have the ability to vote for the president at all, right? And the reason for that, right? So if nobody in the state of the people voted for the president except for the 6 politicians because they're corrupt and they went against their state, here's a funny little thing. Only those 6 votes count. And yes, the state can overturn it. Now, the thing is, right, it defaults to the popular vote, right? And there are a few, only a few actually, it's like single digits, a good way to say it, right? Where there are penalties for the state politicians overturning the people's votes. And one of them, every district, like there are district blocks where each senator has 1 vote for that, and they have to agree with their people, right? So that's one of the, like I'm saying, single digit states, so like less than 10, right? That have that policy. So one of them you don't even like necessarily get it all if they do it, and then there's a few other that do, but that's basically it, right? Now here's the point of like why that's a bad thing, right? So let's say you've got a couple million people like in your state. So you got like 2 million people say no, and 6 people say yes. There you go. That's the issue, right? Because they all agree and they're the ones in power and have the authority to disagree. That's how that works, right? And yeah, in order for a state, by the way, to like, this is the funny thing, like electoral, like everyone talks about election fraud on the presidential election, but nobody talks about it in local elections where the people actually vote. This is the funniest shit ever. Like, why would a Democrat need to put fraud in the presidential election if they can just overturn it if they want to, right? None of these douchebag low IQ nozzles, these guys are the actual low IQ douche nozzles, ever think about that, right? Because that's how you would actually fraud an election locally. You know, you got to get your source locally, right? So you source it through local elections that allow you to overturn the people's votes, as well as influence policy, just fucking locally, right? Like if you defraud local elections, here's a fun little thing. They can't do anything because you have more authority as a local politician over your people too, right? The more local you get, the higher the authority of the United States politicians gets, right? So the mayor is the ultimate authority of your town, right? Then lesser is the state. Then lesser than that is the federal, and then lesser than that is the president, right? The president is not the most powerful man in the United States. He just has the most reach, right? The most powerful man in the United States, it doesn't exist. There's not a single man, right? But mayors tend to have like a lot of localized power, right? Because, you know, they're small. It's localized. So their area of reach is their town, right? Their district where they get elected, right? That they are the mayor of, right? That is basically the ultimate authority. You get to decide who's the judge and the police and all that, right? You know, you get to decide the local laws, right? Did you know that Racine, Wisconsin, weed is legal, but Wisconsin weed is illegal, right? There's a little bit of a dichotomy there, isn't there, right? So how does that go through? Well, it turns out that the mayor has the ultimate authority there. They can overturn the state, just like the state can overturn the federal government in like specific decisions, right? Now, military-wise, the federal has the ultimate power, right? But the Constitution gives limits on how the president can use the military. For example, right? The Third Amendment. If you do not want a soldier in your house, for whatever reason, they're not allowed to be there. Okay? Like if a soldier asks to be in your house, and you don't want them to be there, they're not allowed. Like they just aren't. The Third Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. And the reason for that, by the way, is of course, like the United States was founded on what would be defined now as terrorists. The word was rebel back in the day. They mean the same thing. People say rebel has a better connotation. Legitimately, the only difference between the word rebel and terrorist is that rebel was like what was used in the 1700s, and terrorist is used more in modern day. It's the same word. Like legitimately, if you look up the definitions and then think about like what went on in any rebellion versus terroristic whatever, they're the same thing. Because like the thing is, right, what people don't like about that is that means that we have to like associate with terrorists, right? Because we were founded by them. But that also means that, right, what that really, the reason why people don't want to do that is that means, well, some terrorists might just be fucking right. Right? So now you have to prove that the terrorists that you disagree with are wrong in a conversation, right? Whereas if you just say we don't negotiate with terrorists, you end the conversation before it begins. But that's the thing, right? No one ever actually negotiates with terrorists, right? Like that's a very like average Joe opinion, right? Pretty much everyone agrees with that, right? That's what I would think. If you want to remain in power, it seems, at least at the very least, it seems greatly unproductive to do so, right? It is, yeah. Oh yeah. Also, those missions I was doing earlier are effectively, like they're effectively little fun little doodads you can do, but they're not required. Okay, 52, 58, no, okay, oh, I got it. I'm just looking around, seeing if there's anything I can get while the fucking stamina recharges and shit for my stuff I want to do. Alright, the stray cat. Hello, kitty. Alright, let's continue watching this guy.
Ever support transing you. That's evil. That's despicable. That's
Right, we get it.
It should be absolutely criminal. I mean that.
I mean, it is, isn't it? Like, isn't it criminal in most states already, even if that happened?
If they affirm that.
I mean, pedophilia is also criminal, right?
If a doctor performs surgery, that doctor should go to jail. Straight to jail.
Okay. For what? Like, doing the surgery, or for doing the surgery to a minor? Because like that's another thing, Bucko. You gotta specify. Wait, like, are you just a fucking unhinged loony, or do you have some fucking decency to say, ah, yeah, well, if it's someone like, you know, if it's a consenting adult, like, you know, fucking, what's the bitch's name? I remember. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I tend to forget washed up has-beens, but washed up has-been ex-celebrities, because they're a dime a dozen. But it's that one. You guys know. It's shit. Have to not to say their name, right? The answer is Bruce Jenner's, Caitlyn Jenner, right? So yeah, that's a thing, right? Now, the reason why he says this, by the way, is he's a like, you know, it's like the Templar and shit. He's not even hiding it. You know, it's funny. Like, he's like, the Weimar Republic was so evil that we gotta support like these guys who want to kill everyone, and also are globalists who want to dominate humanity under their fist. But because the Weimars were bad, they like, getting rid of everyone in humanity that isn't German is a good thing. Because that's ultimately like the two sides of World War II on the people who were in World War II. There's the Weimar capitalists who wanted to make money doing whatever, right? And then there's the genocidal maniacs who wanted to conquer the world and failed, thankfully. Like, just like every other globalist group. But like, that was like, those were the two groups at fighting here, right? Like, ultimately, those were the two groups. And yeah, it didn't work out so well for the globalists. The Weimars got genocided, and then they still like came back right after, right? Because they're capitalists. Like, everyone calls them commies, but ultimately, what's commie about them? Well, nothing. Like, factually nothing. It's like, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, commies and making money. And it's like having a service that you provide for in exchange for income. That's the most communistic thing ever, right? This is what this crowd of people ultimately has to use as their opinions, right? All right, okay, I'll play with them. Play with the little characters. Okay, it's turned into Chinese. All right, so we've got this one. I gotta find the. I still haven't found a bored child. So yeah, there's this one. I gotta find bored child. So I'm gonna guess they're actually all in the same area. I don't know. I don't know where I've never found the bored one. I've legit never found her. Okay, let's see. They're not in the bin. Looking for a bored child. Oh, okay, they are in a bin. Oh, fuck. Okay, so now I finally beat these assholes. Alright, here we go. Give me the cash money. There we go. Alright, let's continue.
Yeah. Straight to Guantanamo Bay. That is child abuse.
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside.
Oh, wow.
Get the bearskin tactical hoodie 4.0.
So, yeah, I don't like Noise Critical. I think he's fake. I think he's inauthentic. I think he's ridiculous. You know, and it's fine to be all those things. But if it's fine because. You know,
No, like the funny thing about this is he can't even keep his shit, like, this is how you know he doesn't actually believe anything he says. He has to say, "Oh, I called him a pedophile and I called him a pedophile and I said everyone who agrees with him should go to jail or even be shot." But you know, I'm fine with these people, right? I don't actually hate them. I just think that they should die. It's what he said, right? That's legit what he said. So now, I don't know about you, but for me, like, advocating for the death of someone I disagree with on a political issue tends to be known as hate, not which is an irrational fear of someone that gets to the point where you set up legal barriers in order to prevent the thing you dislike from continuing to exist, right? That's what hate is. It's an irrational fear. Like, if it was a rational fear, you wouldn't need to set up all those barriers. You would just, societal-wise, right? You would just have them as a person rather than as a society. These people don't like that, though. I bet you he's trying to scrounge that about how he's reasonable, despite wanting a fairly large subset of the population to die. Right? Like, he's gonna LARP that he's reasonable there, but he has an irrational fear of people. And he's not even good at hiding it. But hey, you know, that's fine. You can have an irrational fear of people. Right? I don't mind. Like, you know, we can, like, you can be as irrational as you want to be. This is the internet, right, buddy? Like, we don't have to be rational all the time here. I mean, we never were. That's not how the internet actually works. In fact, when people try to talk about how rational they are online, I just laugh, because you're on the internet, buddy. You're not rational. If you were, you wouldn't be trying to convince me on something on the internet. You would be using like some studies and shit. You know, you'd actually be proving your points. But instead, you're just watching other people who are smarter than you make points themselves, and then you're alluding to your opinion in a way that you think makes it sound like you have a point, and failing at that. Which is fine. Like, you are allowed to be an absolute failure in life. Like, be the biggest, most unhinged loser out there that you can be. You know, just embrace the mental retardation. Embrace the loony bin, you know? They just go full on. Just embrace your lunacy. But know that I know what to call that, okay? And so do a lot of other people. Yes, I will not pretend you are intelligent. I will not devalue your existence by being fake to you. You are an unintelligent, uninspired hack who is grifting off of other people's drama in order to milk money, all because you are a subhuman parasite who needs to just get some brain cells. And stop mocking God by refusing his gift of brain cells all the time, like constantly, as God offers them several times in your life, and you have blocked him out every single time because you're a dirty, blaspheming bitch, right? See, what the thing is, you don't understand what I said because that would require a sense of humor, right? You don't have one of those, and so you can't understand that people would make fun of someone just for to lols. This concept is novel to you. But it is a true concept. It is a concept that is real. Also, these are the kinds of people who hate Jews, right? Like they're like, oh, I hate Jewish people. And then like their content is just how much they agree with the Jewish religion. Right? It's like, I hate Jewish people for that's why because I'm homophobic and I hate other religions, and I support Israel, but I'm actually an anti-Semite, guys. Like, these are like the guys who I like despise the most. It's like, pick a fucking lane and stick to it. You know, like if you want to be a Nazi, just gripe it out, buddy. That means you're gonna you're gonna have to be Nick Fuentes and probably vote Democrat, though. You know, like at least like Nick Fuentes is probably the only guy I know who actually stuck with the Nazism entirely, right? He's like, wait, the Democrats are against the Jews here, and I'm a Nazi. So I should not support that. Right? Now, I don't like that guy. But, you know, which is more consistent here, buddy? Right? You just hate trans people because the Nazis were cool back in the day. Right? You just like the SS aesthetic. But you don't actually know how to wear it, right? And the funny thing is, I know you don't know how to wear it because if you did, you'd be a furry. And that's the thing. Every single like Nazi who actually went out of their way to full on go with the flow with the rhetoric and shit, right? You know what they did? You know what they did? They were a furry. And that's the thing. Like the outfits of Nazis are extremely easy to fetishize because they do look good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like them outfits. Like, you know, I disagree with the people, but you know, something about that. You know, it's like it just says "Step on me, Daddy." You know, I'm just saying, you know, like look it up. Like, it's a great outfit. It definitely says you're the dominant species when you wear one of those. Oh. Yeah, let's. Yeah, just kill her. Yep. Okay. Let's continue.
Dead and whatever. And that's the context.
Also, notice how this guy has a disability.
You know, I would never want to take Noise Critical off the air, for example. But
Well, you just said you did. Now you're saying you didn't. You said you wanted him in prison for stating this opinion that you disagreed with, and now you're walking it back. See, this is why nobody likes it. But like, okay, here's how you do it, right? Elon Musk, I am going to offer you one little thing, one little treaty, right? I will give you my utmost complete respect, right, Elon Musk. I will acknowledge that you did a good thing finally. If you can arrest Tactical Templar and publicly display it for all to see, and have him hung upside down by his testicles on a cross, and behind it, it'll be a glowing sign that says blasphemer, right? Where he will be lobotomized from the brain and freed from the brain he refused to use despite ample opportunity to by God, right? And he will just be publicly executed for all to see and lobotomized for all to see as for his crimes against the intelligence of humanity, right? If you can do that for me, I will give you my respect. Notice I'm not dropping it, right? If he can do that, I will respect him. Right? I'm not dropping my positions. Because I'm an honest person, right? If I say something like that, I stick by it. Okay, I'm sticking by it. If Elon Musk does that, I will give him more respect than I've ever given him. Because that's what I am. I'm a man of my word, right? I'm a man of my word, Elon Musk. You can have that, right? I will respect you more, which, you know, is kind of impossible not to if I respect you at all, right? You can only ever increase your respect with me, right? I don't really have any right now. So whatever respect I give you will be more than you have right now. But I will give you that in exchange for that specific thing I said happening, right? That very unhinged specific thing happening, right? I will. See my lack of take back? I have conviction. You don't. That's the problem with you.
And not even being based on any topic. Like, he'll sometimes get opinions right, but it'll be by accident. Like, oh, this game is bad. Oh, you know, most critical will acknowledge the game is bad. Does he mention wokeness? Or DEI? No. Never.
Why would he? This is the thing. He's like, why doesn't he mention wokeness or DEI? Why does he just talk about that the game is bad? And why is it that he only agrees with me when the game is just unrepentant dog shit? But he's fine if the game is fun. But when it's boring, that's when he hates it. So he doesn't use the word woke slop unironically, because he views like that games should be fun and that's the value he has. He doesn't actually care about politics. He just cares about about entertainment. Yeah, like it's almost as if Critical's a normal man. Right? It's almost as if Critical is a normal man. And you are not. Which is why he can have conviction in some of the things he says and you can't. Right? I don't have to make up a reason about like some bullshit about some political psyop, right, movement in order to hate Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Right? In fact, I can just look at the trailer and say why I hate it. You want to know what it is? It has nothing to do with the politics of the game or anything. And it has everything to do with the fact that the characters just speak down to the audience the entire time. And it has that weird, like, it's not James Gunn, but it's trying to be James Gunn writing, right? You know, that writing that never is entertaining, but like a lot of people try to do to copy his little bits of namesake, and they never succeed, right? They have never succeeded once.
Next time, just you wait.
All right, let's continue though.
Because he's a lesson, and these people are brainwashed, and it does get me. It irritates me sometimes, but
You know what irritates me? Your voice. You have a disease. It's called I don't know what it's actually called. I'm gonna say it's bronchitis, but it might be something else. But what you have, right, is a problem where you cannot breathe like a normal person, right? Your lungs do not function correctly, right? And this is a consequence of you being an anti-woke, unhinged loser, right? You are fat, right? You are morbidly obese. And I can tell by listening to your voice. Okay? I can hear the lipids in your voice. Stop being fat. Work out. Lose some weight. Maybe then you'll realize why Moist Critical is the way he is. Like, Moist Critical is pretty physically active, right? You can tell, right? And it's funny, like you say, Ludwig, Hassan, and Moist Critical are losers. Okay. They're all far more physically fit than you. like when it comes down to biological success, yes, the trans rights commies that work out every day are more biologically successful than you. You want to know why? Because they've had sex. But more importantly, they're also more physically fit than you. Right? Now, obviously, there is some, there is some room of they aren't, commies are bad, right? They are, objectively speaking. And I disagree with him on that. But I disagree with your criticisms of him even more. And mainly because, like, I know where yours come from. Yours don't come from an actual intelligent demeanor, right? You imply that they do, but that's you implying them, not other people, right? I don't care what your bot army and your audience says. I care about what people say. And what people say is honestly evident by your own any one of your of your bot commenters talking about other people, right? Like notice that, like they're like, I hate that this person agreed with Moist Critical over me at work, so I left my job. I'm like, so you left a stable income. It's like how you know that these people are not serious. So you left a stable income. Right, he left a stable income. Like legit, he left a stable income. Alright, monetary stability, right? You abandoned that. Right? You abandoned that. It's okay. You know, your dad abandoned you, so I get it, right? abandoning things, it runs in the family. But you do realize that I'm going to make fun of you for that, though. That's the thing, right? And here's the funny thing, right? A lot of people will, when they disagree with me and things I do and say, they will be like, whether left or right, they will be like, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, you can't, right? And I'm like, so you said I can't do that, but you're factually incorrect because I already did it. So I proved you wrong before you even said this. You're unhinged and do not accept reality. I can do this. You might not be able to, but I am perfectly able to. And people don't like that. People don't like that I actually observe reality for what it is. If I can do something, it doesn't matter if people say I can't do it. I proved them wrong. I like, if people don't like what I do, fine. Fuck them. But guess what? They say I can't do it, but I did. And it puts a little bit of a damper on their sense of logic. So think about that. Why don't you? Well, if you ever want to think, that's the thing. I don't think this guy is capable of it. He's definitely not capable of having a coherent thought, regardless of his ability to think in any other capacity. I also probably get my guys out, honestly.
Farewell.
Apologies, I'm just playing a video game properly. I gotta be focused a bit. Right.
I do these videos because I think it's important to highlight the truth, which is that no, Elon Musk is not a worm. No, Elon Musk is not an idiot. No, Elon Musk is not somebody that you throw spitballs at. I think he's doing a lot of good. And I would challenge the people that hate him to do what he does. Now, I don't mean on that grand scale. Nobody has that sort of money. But if you have an idea to make humanity better, if you have an idea to make the world better, do it.
I did. I told Elon Musk my idea. Now, actually, I don't have an idea to make the world better because I don't think the world needs to be better. Like, there's like not that much. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty conservative here, bucko. The actual definition of the word, though, not like your far left definition where you just support authoritarianism and big changes in the world order. Literally far leftism. This is the funny thing. He is supporting the far left authoritarian that is Elon Musk because he disagrees with trans people so much that he will literally simp for communism. Right, this is the funniest shit ever that I've seen with the far right. Is that they aren't far right. That was never the proper term for them. It's the far left. I mean, I thought we already knew that. I mean, that was what they were saying, right? Wasn't it? Like, didn't they? Like, wasn't that what horseshoe theory, like all that horseshoe theory rhetoric was about, right? Like, that the far left and far right are legitimately the same fucking people. And they just, like, the differences are literally just how much they horseshoe around each other into the same concept, despite having different points of, different points of origin for their beliefs. I mean, that's legitimately what horseshoe theory is. Right? But that's the thing, right? The far left and the far right do often horseshoe together. This isn't even up for debate. This is just how it is.
Those who harm me.
And that's what this guy is doing. He's cozying up to an authoritarian leftist in order to continue hating trans people in a popular light. That's all it is. He just wants to be popular for his unpopular opinions. So he's like, well, if I bully them with a government authority into agreeing with me, to the point where it will be illegal to disagree with me, well, then it'll just be okay. Like, yeah, true. But that's just, that's the thing. I'm honest about what I say. I have convictions of what I say. That's the thing. I don't have to walk back what I say. I have never done that, by the way. People hate me for that because I will full on just say with my chest things, and people will be like, you need to walk that back. I've been canceled so many times by the left for that. But I don't walk back things. I have full conviction, and I always will remain having full conviction. The boomer generation of pedophiles should all be sent to prison to be anally raped. I said that before, I'll say it again. The entire boomer generation are pedophiles, and they need to collectively be thrown in prison and be anally raped. Okay, that's my stance. That's my political position here. My political position is that people who were born in the 60s, right, the old fucks who were born in the 1960s, who removed my ability to participate in capitalism and refused to sell people a house because the Chinese will offer them a better deal, right? That group of people are all pedophiles who molested all of Gen X and a few of millennials as well, and refuse to acknowledge that they made people's lives worse. And they want us to be grateful for them, despite this. And so for me, people like that should be sent to prison to be anally raped. I think that, and by think I mean absolutely no, I'm 100% correct here. I absolutely know that people like that should be sent to prison to be anally raped. I don't have to sugarcoat my opinion there. I don't have to hide it. I just have it because it's the correct one to have. You will never find an opinion more correct to have than that either, by the way. It just is the best opinion to have. If you want to, of the opinions to hold, it is the most correct you can possibly have. There aren't opinions more correct than this one. And people can hate me all they want. But I can also be right. And that fact should terrify people like this. Because I am correct, just so you know. There is no ifs, ands, or buts on that. There's a lot of butt sex, though. I do love You know, one lefty position I do enjoy is butt sex. It's a very much a popular opinion of mine that anal sex is good, right? Unless you don't want it, right? And then it's a punishment for those who commit crimes, right? So it's called going to prison, right? That's what happens in prison. You get anally raped, right? So so people should, you know, do it. That should happen. That's when you get punished with it, right? Just go to jail and get anally raped. And now people will be like, this dude's talking about how they're serious, and they quote in the Boondocks. Like, yeah, because the Boondocks is awesome. I don't have to sugarcoat that, do I? Right? I love the Boondocks. Their sense of humor is so me. Right, like that. That's just how it is. Their sense of humor is the shit I like to say. They are my favorite comedians. Primarily because they will say off-the-cuff shit like that with their chest. Just like I will. You know, they inspired me to be convicted, to have convictions in my beliefs, right? Like, I will maintain conviction in what I say. I will not sugarcoat what I say either. People hate me for that, and people will always hate me for that. But also people will love me for that. You know, that's another thing. For every person who hates me for that, there's 10 people who love me for that. Like, I am probably like one of the most banned people off Discord servers for just being an asshole, right? And yet I've got a very massive fan club, right? How do I have constantly, like, how do I have more friends than most people have, how would I have a larger friends list, despite all of that, than most people have, you know, entire members in their entire servers? Right? How do I talk to literally thousands of people constantly? It's because that's who I am. I mean, like, people don't like me because sometimes they end up on the other end of my shtick. They like me when I'm wrathful to their enemies. They despise me when I'm wrathful to them. But the thing is, I don't like hypocrites, right? If you're left or right, I will say whether or not I agree with you. I do this with my girlfriend, right? Me and my girlfriend will do this sometimes, right? Like, my girlfriend doesn't like Lolicon, and I have literally had spouts on her with that, right? But I don't, like, the thing is, I never come from a place of malice. That's when it comes to people I respect. Right? If I already respect you, I never come from a place of malice. But I will not sugarcoat my opinions of that. Right? I don't. Why should I? Right? But that being said, right, I'm just showing you, like, how much conviction I have, right? I am willing to risk my relationship stability to say what I believe. I will say it with my entire chest, every single thing that I believe. I will just say what I think, and let it be so. I'm like the villain of Resident Evil 4 Remake. I just let it be so. You know? Alright, let's continue.
He's done. And he's got so many different and I look at these streamers, and they don't help anyone but themselves. And they have the temerity to go after people.
He doesn't. He's donated plenty of money to... What?
Most critical solution to every complex problem is to hate CEOs. If I just hate on CEOs and people who are executives, that'll be the solution. It rubs me the wrong way. It irritates me.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, and so I will continue to talk about it and illustrate.
This is a funny thing. He doesn't hate CEOs. He hates a few CEOs. Honestly, why don't you call him out for that? He's a massive CEO of like several companies, and yet you think he hates CEOs, right? Like, if he hates CEOs so much, why is he like 3 of them, right? Or is it 4 now? Right, like that's the thing. He is a CEO. I don't think I've ever seen, like, I know he's friends with someone who hates CEOs, right? He's friends with Hassan, but Hassan is like pretty much well known as a armchair socialist anyway. Like, he doesn't actually believe in socialism. Like, that is his grift, right? Hassan's grift is socialism, and a lot of people understand that Hassan doesn't give a fuck about socialism, and he doesn't actually want it. But he knows that there's money in advocating for it. So he continues to, because it's decent money. Right? Ultimately, most people already know that. Whether they are left or not while watching him, most people understand that he knows that communism is full of shit. Right? Most people do. And so I don't like that his lack of conviction there, obviously. Because that's the thing I said. I don't like lack of conviction. I don't like it with you, and I don't like it with him. But I will say I at least appreciate that he isn't a commie. Even though he larks as one. Because, hey, communism is worse than not communism. Right? Like pretty much every economic system is worse than communism, which is why I will not support Elon Musk. He's a communist, right? And I will not support him unless he does that very specific thing I asked, right? Now I doubt he will, right? I doubt he will. I will, however, I said it before, and I'll say it again. I will, however, support him from the bottom of my heart, through my entire soul. Right? I will support him if he does that one very particular unhinged thing I said. But he has to do that, right? And specifically the way I said it, right? To the letter. So like if you are if you're hung right side up, or you're hung upside down but it's not by your testicles, like the nails aren't in your balls, right? He's got to do it exactly as I said, right? If he doesn't lobotomize you, or if he lobotomizes you, but the reason it's given isn't the fact that you're a heretic who has abandoned God's gifts of brain cells, right? He's got to say specifically why he did it, as well. Oh yeah, this thing.
Blow them away.
It's funny, like it says something about a genie mod. They didn't put one there that respawns, so like you'll get that you'll get the Chimpokemon, but you won't get the Chimpokemon more than once, but you'll be able to get the protect the Chimpokemon mission. And I'm calling them Chimpokemon because I love South Park, if you can't tell. That's another thing, like these guys will be like they love South Park when they make fun of the left. And that will be it. Right? You'll never see these guys talking about like the vast majority of South Park, just the ones that shit on leftists and nothing else. Right? You'll never see these guys talk about Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh. Right? You'll never see them talk about that. You'll also never see them talk about like their global warming videos, right? The ones where they admit that global warming is a problem, and they literally have them be like a world threat in the end too. You'll never have Matt Stone and Trey Parker content be talked about them unless they think that they can shit on the left with it, right? That's the funny thing. Like, the left will talk about South Park whether they love it or hate it all the time. These guys will only ever talk about it when they can chill it as a grifting point. That's how you know where the fan base is on the show, right? Who can talk about it without, like, talking about the politics of it all 24/7? Or they can talk about the politics of it even when they disagree with them. Right? That's the funny little thing. The left are probably South Park's biggest fans. But they will pretend otherwise for whatever reason. Which is why I don't like the left. You know, they lack the convictions that I prefer to have in people. But, I mean, they got good taste in shows, though. I will say that. Like if I would I rather watch, right, the left's shows, right, which include things like The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, anime, you know, like there's a term called tranime, right, which refers to anime that the left loves effectively, especially trans people, right? That is the you know, a term about anime. It's literally just anime that a lot of trans people love, right? But people on, you know, this guy's side don't like that. But, like, those are all the good anime, though. Like, those are like the those are the ones that make the money, right? So, like, this guy has to, like, battle that in his head, you know? Does he want stuff that makes money, that people like, that is popular, right? Because, like, it makes money because people enjoy it, and so they share it with their friends. Or does he want to grift off of Charlie all day, right? Does he want to have to rely on Charlie and suck his dick, right? Because ultimately, this drama benefits Charlie too, right? This is the funny thing. Unless you say yes, you are uncancelable. Unless you did something that's illegal, right? So all this guy, like, he props himself up by grifting off Critical, but he also benefits Critical by doing so as well. Also, I'm gonna do this one. All right, let's go. Enclosioner.
Very fast.
Oh.
This is where you belong. Time to incinerate the West. This is where you belong.
Alright, I just wanted to end on that, to be honest.
What a bountiful haul today.
Just bullying a boss. Alright, anyway, Bucko, let's do your last bit of video.
The video will stand as a testament to the fact that a lot of these people, they hate on Elon Musk for no valid reason. Not a single valid reason.
Well, not a single valid reason. 423 pages. Yeah, I'm going to end on that.